Well, good morning. Happy Tuesday. You are looking live over downtown Macon right now. It is 6:30 on this October the 4th. I'm Caitlin Heck.
And I'm Wanye Reese. This Tuesday morning, it's looking good on you, Central Georgia, and it's feeling good as well, Caitlin.
Yes, I am loving these mornings, Alex. Much better than those muggy mornings we had a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, I know. You kind of get used to it in the summertime of 70s and muggy, and you step outside after about the third week of it, and you're like, oh, it's not that bad. Then you get to mornings like this, you're like, okay, that was awful. This is really nice outside. We're looking at temperatures in the 40s and 50s this morning, 49 in Macon, dew point at 48. So the air is fairly dry out there. 48 in Byron, 50 in Warner Robins, 50 in Jeffersonville, 48 in Cochran, and 45 in Dudley right now. More 40s and 50s down to the south, 48 in Cordele and 48 in Rochelle this morning. The radar picture is quiet across the area. No rain to speak of, and really not across the southeast either. This front down towards the south, it's tied to a low pressure that's up off the Virginia coast. What's somewhat similar to a nor'easter is going on up there. Just no snow part of it. We're looking at rain and 50s up there. Elsewhere dry across the area. Today look for a high temperature right around 77. That is a few degrees below the average high of 83. Mostly sunny skies. Sunrise is at 7:31 this morning. This warming trend in terms of the afternoon highs is going to continue. Plus I've got more 40s on the 7-day, which when those come your way comes up in a few minutes.
Well, thank you, Alex. Right now, the city of Warner Robins has a new interim police chief, Captain Wayne Fisher.
That's right. This comes after Chief John Wagner announced his retirement.
I think the police chief for the Warner Robins Police Department, what the community deserves and needs, is a team builder and a uniter.
Fisher has been in law enforcement for 28 years, 20 of those with the Warner Robins Police Department. Mayor LaRhonda Patrick says they looked at 4 outside candidates and 6 captains within the department.
She says Fisher is well respected by his peers and he will now help select the permanent chief.
I didn't want to take the chance of picking a person I could see really take the reins and be our permanent police chief, serving as the interim because it takes him out of the running.
Mayor Patrick says right now Fisher will serve as short-term interim police chief.
That means there could be another interim chief named in the next few months.
Well, right now, Byron police say an argument between 2 roommates turned into a deadly shooting.
That's right. The Byron chief, Wesley Cannon, told us when they arrived Friday night, they found Claude Deaton outside, shot in the chest.
I couldn't imagine anything so bad for childhood friends for this to come to this.
So neighbors told police Deaton and Rodney Slocum argued for an hour or more before the shooting happened. A neighbor says later they spotted Deaton outside and noticed that he was shot. Police say the neighbor heard Deaton say Slocum shot him.
I'm glad that both of the kids recently, within the last week, got a text from their dad how much he loved them and how proud he was of them.
Deaton's ex-wife Jennifer McWilliams and daughter Alyssa Deaton say they learned what happened Friday night from other relatives.
And Deaton was 46 years old. His ex-wife says she's happy he is in a good place with their children.
Well, this morning we have more details on the victims of Sunday's crash on I-475. Coroner Leon Jones says 41-year-old Karen Gregory, her son 19-year-old Chiron, and her daughter 9-year-old Yavi died in that crash. He says the family was from Florida and driving back home after visiting Locust Grove. Chiron was driving the SUV when it swerved off the road, rolled down an embankment, and hit a tree.
In my career of EMS and coroner was the worst wreck I have seen in my career. That's the worst wreck I've seen. We could not tell what kind of vehicle it was. You just couldn't tell.
Jones says the Gregory family contacted the coroner's office after hearing about a bad crash in Macon. Our thoughts go out to their family.
Yes, the time is now 6:34. Let's get a check of your state news this morning. The emergency room at Atlanta Medical Center is now on total diversion. That means their ER will now direct its patients to other hospitals, including Atrium Health Navicine here in Macon. It's to prepare for when the entire emergency department shuts down. That's going to be happening in less than 2 weeks. Wellstar says closing the ER early will help reduce the number of patients at the hospital and cut down on the amount of patients who need to be transported to another hospital once AMC closes. The ER completely closes on October the 14th, and the entire hospital closes for good on November the 1st. Grady Memorial Hospital will then be the only level 1 trauma center in Atlanta. This morning, the Georgia election prosecutor investigating former President Donald Trump started looking for search warrants in the case. This shows that the probe entered a new phase after a Fulton County Superior Court judge's order. Right now, it's not clear who the targets of the search warrants are or whether any search warrants started. The investigation is looking into whether former President Trump broke the law trying to overturn the 2020 election. Well, the countdown is on until Election Day across our state. You have exactly 1 week left today to go ahead and register by the October 11th deadline. Keep in mind, Monday, October the 10th, is a state holiday. And remember, if you've changed your address, you'll need to make sure you're registered at your new location. Early voting is going to start on October the 17th, and it's going to run through November the 4th. Now, all Georgia counties will offer voting on Saturday, October the 22nd.
Well, some good news for Georgia drivers this morning. Governor Brian Kemp extended the state's gas tax suspension once again. The governor first suspended the tax back in March in response to record high gas prices. This extension will now last through November 11th. The suspension saves you about 29 cents a gallon. Governor Kemp also extended a supply chain state of emergency. Well, this morning, Central Georgia Technical College and the Vector Center are part of a Georgia First. Armani Robertson's now the state's first students to complete the Dual Achievement Program, which makes Central Georgia Tech the first in the state's technical college system to award a high school diploma. Students have to complete 2 technical certificates, a diploma or an associate's degree, and finish any remaining high school credits through the school's academy. Robertson took up an interest in welding.
I did go to Perry High School for 2 years, and then I transferred to Central Georgia Tech from Miss Weston because I was more of a hands-on person, and this is what I want to do for my career.
And congratulations to him. Even Governor Kemp congratulated Robertson on Twitter. He says he now wants to go work on a pipeline in Texas. We wish him the best of luck. Well, check this out this morning. You can drop by the Houston Lake Country Club and donate to help raise money for children. Yesterday, the Georgia Sheriff's Association and Sheriff Colin Talton in Houston County invited players to the annual golf outing. Golfers paid an entrance fee to help cover the tournament along with lunch and prizes. Last year, they raised almost $150,000, so hopefully they can do that and more this year. Mike Leathers says events like this help support the Georgia Sheriff's youth homes.
These are not troubled children. These are children that come from troubled environments, and that's one of the biggest things.
He says registration is closed, but you can still stop by the country club this morning and throughout the afternoon to watch or drop off a donation.
Well, today we've got a detour starting on the I-75 and I-16 interchange project. GDOT warns you'll find double lane closures nightly beginning tonight through Friday night. They run from 11 p.m. to 5 a.m. on I-16 West from the Spring Street ramp across the bridge to the I-16 West side 75 North split. So be sure to watch out for slowdowns and work crews, or just take Spring Street to Riverside Drive to avoid it. Teachers sharing their knowledge at their alma mater. Our morning reporter DJ Anthony takes you to Macon's Northeast High School and shows you some bib teachers making a difference in the next generation. Plus, we give you a preview of an art event that's going to be coming up this weekend, happening right here in Mactown. The time is now 6:38 a.m. here on your Tuesday morning, and we have all these events, and it's nice to see that the weather is cooperating as well, finally.
I know, you can actually go out to the corn mazes and the fair and actually feel like it's fall outside.
And that's not always a guarantee, as we know
true.
here in the Southeast. Yeah, last year was really hot this time of year, and I was looking at the records. On this day back in 2019, we hit 102 degrees.
Wow.
Here in Central Georgia.
I can believe it because I remember that year, the fair, it was really hot.
Yeah. And, you know, the flip side is 2011, 39. So we're usually somewhere in between there. A little closer to that 39 this morning. We're not all that far away from it, with temperatures in the low 50s, upper 40s as we take a live look outside across downtown Macon. And the temperatures, 49 here in Macon. So only 10 degrees away from that record low of 39 set back in 2011. 50 in Roberta, 48 in Fort Valley, as well as in Perry, 49 down in Hawkinsville. We got 45 in Dublin, 48 in Rochelle. And I was just looking across the state. I think that 45 in Dublin is the coolest temperature there on the map. Some clouds as you head out towards Meriwether, Coweta County this morning, and that's about it. Across the southeast, mainly quiet. 53 in Columbus, Mississippi, 55 there in Montgomery, 50 over in Charleston, 52 in Wilmington. And if you're walking the dog out in New Orleans, still 71 degrees down there, likely very humid as well. Into the day today, we're going to be looking at temperatures into the 60s by about the noon hour, 68 there by noon itself, into the 70s this afternoon. I'm forecasting a high temperature of about 77. And then for tonight, some increased cloud cover, a low temperature right around 50. Wouldn't surprise me to see a few 40s sprinkled in there as well, including here in Macon. And then into tomorrow afternoon, closer to 80 degrees than we will be today here in Central Georgia. Let's keep rolling the clock forward on into the weekend. Here we are Friday at about 5 p.m. So notice some increased cloud cover here across the southeast. This is actually a front that's going to be sliding on through, and that front is going to be bringing with it cooler air, but it's not going to be bringing any rainfall with it. Our atmosphere is very dry right now. You step outside, you look up, and you're not going to see much in the way of cloud cover as of now. Then you will, but that's because what little bit of moisture there is to work with will be turned into cloud cover, and it's not going to be able to make its way to rainfall. Once we get into Sunday, the clouds clear out. It's still completely dry here in central Georgia, and that includes as we get into Monday as well. These high temperatures steadily warming up here through the next 4 days. 77 for today, 81 tomorrow. That's up to 86 by the time we get to Friday. Back down to 78 thanks to that front by the time we get to Saturday. And the cool mornings continuing as well, going as low as 46 potentially there for Thursday morning. Likely our coolest morning of the season so far. And then those will begin to moderate a little bit as we increase the cloud cover on Friday and Saturday. Not able to get as cool during the morning hours. Now, it has been very dry across central Georgia. No secret about it. In fact, this yellow you see here, these are abnormally dry conditions on the U.S. Drought Monitor. This was last updated on Thursday, but I'm showing you it this morning because they're taking the measurements this morning for this Thursday's update. So we'll have to see how this map changes on Thursday morning. Of course, we'll have that for you here on 13 WMAZ. 77 today on the cool side of things. Our average high is 83 for this time of year. Sunrise is at 7:31. 81 tomorrow, 84 for Thursday. Of course, the fair begins on Thursday. Once we get to the weekend, though, that front arrives, returns us back to the 70s, running some 5 degrees below average this weekend and into next week.